Hey everybody, Nick here, and today I got a little first impressions video by popular request for you of this little guy. This is the Spyderco Para3. Now, the Spyderco PM2 is one of the very best everyday carry knives in the world as far as I'm concerned. It's got great ergonomics, it's got a great action, it's got a great value. I mean, it's just a great knife, absolutely 100%. It's one of the very first ones I send people to. The biggest problem with the PM2, honestly, is its size. I've got relatively small hands, and I don't like carrying something that's huge in my pocket, and this guy is huge in my pocket, absolutely. So when Spyderco announced that they were going to make a smaller version of the PM2, which was originally called the PM3 or the Minuteman was another name for it, I went crazy along with the rest of the damn knife world, because it's fixing the biggest issue the PM2 has, and if they didn't screw it up, it would be magnificent. And, well, today I'm here to tell you that they didn't screw it up. And it's pretty magnificent. It's not without its flaws, but it's still pretty excellent. First off, the obvious size comparison, just so you kind of get a sense of it. Here it is on top of a PM2. They have knocked the blade down in a pretty significant way here, which is nice, and it looks a great deal less, I don't know, stabby, intimidating, along those lines. And when we fold them up, we can see they've made a big difference in terms of carryability. If we align the lanyard holes here, we can see that the Para3 is much, much smaller than your PM2 down there. And it carries a lot smaller. It feels a lot smaller in the pocket. I don't mind carrying this guy. PM2 does bug me a little bit. Let's compare it to another of my favorite knives, the Spyderco Delica. In the pocket, you can see that they're just about the same size. The Para3 is a little bit bigger on some dimensions, particularly up here, and a little bit on the bottom, and it is thicker than your Delica. If we kind of hold the two of them up next to each other, we can see, yeah, the Delica is a little bit thinner than your Para3. But they're very, very similar in the pocket in practice, so that's a wonderful thing. The action compares favorably to the PM2 because it's a shrunken PM2. And so you still get the magnificent compression lock action on it. You still get all that. The steel is S30V, just like the full-size PM2. And I'm really hoping for sprint runs down the road. And, you know, overall, they've taken everything that makes the PM2 a PM2 and just shrunk it down a little bit, and that's pretty compelling. So that's really the good of this guy immediately, and I'm not doing a full review yet. I'm gonna be. Oh my God, I'm gonna full review this, but just my first impressions on the good side is that they made a smaller PM2 and they didn't substantially screw it up. It's about the same thickness. The blade's about the same thickness. They're very similar, except this one's just a little nicer in the pocket, and that's beautiful. The one issue that I do see immediately, sort of on the bad side, is that the pocket clip location is not great for tip-up carry on the Para3, that is. If we put this in your pocket, you can see that a fair amount of it hangs out, as opposed to here. So this is where your pocket would be on the Para3. Here it is on the PM2. So a good deal more of this knife is hanging out on the Para3 relative to your PM2 here. And that's not great. It's a consequence of the huge lanyard tube, which should have gone away, or at least shrunk down. And it's a little bit annoying to have that much lanyard sticking up there. But if that's the worst thing that this knife is going for it, honestly, I'm pretty happy. And again, wait for the full review. One other thing I want to highlight real quick. A bunch of people are freaking out about this right here, because they think that this knife is pinned shut. On a lot of knives, well, increasingly few, thank God, but there are plenty of knives out there where you cannot disassemble it because there are pinned ends on these things. But this is not that. This is just a shouldered pin. I'll put some pictures on the Instagram. Check out the Instagram, by the way. But it's just a shouldered pin, and you can take this knife apart. I have already done so, as a matter of fact, which is why the action is so damn good. Unfortunately, it was held together by a bunch of red Loctite, and that's ugly as heck. But anyways, that's a separate issue. But this is very much a disassemblable knife. Spyderco's warranty forbids it, but you can do it, so don't worry about that. So anyways, those are my first impressions of your Spyderco Para3. It's a smaller PM2, and the PM2 is a great knife, so guess what? This is going to be a great knife, too. We'll see whether it reaches gem status, and I'll give you a full good, great, bad, and the ugly, but so far, they seem to have done what we were all hoping they were going to do, which is to make a great thing a little bit smaller. There you go. I hope this is interesting. Keep an eye out for the full review. I'll do it as quickly as I responsibly can. I want to make sure I carry this guy and give it plenty of love ahead of time. But like I said, so far, first impressions are pretty damn good. Thank you, Spyderco, for finally giving me a PM2 I feel like I want to carry. All right, have yourselves an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. Bye now.